Pues estarán en el pasillo de entrada tomándose fotos con ustedes al terminar las peleas. Y vamos a traer a la primera contienda de esta noche con el aplauso de todos ustedes para la categoría del peso gallo. Hasta 54 kilogramos traemos a quien ocupará la esquina azul de los Miami Gallos, Luis Miguel Diaz.
Luis Miguel Diaz going to be making his way into the ring. He is a southpaw, a slick fighter from the Dominican Republic. 16 years old is when he began boxing. He just turned 21, so he's got some experience as we try. There he is, coming out of the tunnel right now. He idolizes Juan Guzman, the two-time world champion from the Dominican Republic. He has had a hard luck season so far, 0-3. He began back in November in Memphis, lost to Detlin Delacliev of Memphis, and then here in Mexico City he lost to Elias Amicho. That was a very, very close match. But January 30 in LA, the top bantamweight perhaps in the series, next to Braulio Avila, or maybe they're equal. He gave Russian Warren quite a fight. He cut the two-time Olympian, so it was a good effort as we get ready to bring in this guy. Oh, getting ready for the entry of a young man who's really come on strong, been boxing 10 years, a four-time Mexican champion, Braulio Avila. He is a very fast fighter, deadly force. He has the whole package. I've been comparing him a little bit. I know it's a tall order to three-time world champion Eric Morales, but of course Eric Morales was a lightweight. But this guy's a bantamweight. You got the chance to meet him, BJ. He's quite an impressive young man. Speaks English and is in college.
Yeah, he is. He's very impressive, and what's even more impressive is he's 3-1 in the tournament. He's got a fantastic potential. He's been on the Mexican national team for a long time, so looking for big things out of him tonight.
Well, he's been the most active, one of the most active fighters this entire series. In Mexico City, February 4th, the first place Matadors came down here. They were very proud to have a young 18-year-old Joseph Diaz, the U.S. national champ, just signed with L.A., and Braulio dominated him. It was a big win for Braulio. It was a boxing lesson for Joseph Diaz, who had not fought this style before, although he's an impressive 18-year-old champion. But you come down here to these guys' backyard, especially Braulio's, and it's going to be a tough order for anybody coming up against this young bantamweight. You're going to have fun watching it, BJ.
It's a wake-up call for the kid that he beat. Maybe that'll help him out and help him to realize that, hey, this is a world tournament, and you got to be at your best every single time.
Victor Pernico now.
Señoras y señores, pelearán 5 rounds en la división de peso gallo. El referee para esta contienda es el señor David Yaurado de los Estados Unidos. Los jueces son Jones Kennedy del Brasil, Roberto Servide y Gerardo Poggi de Argentina. El tomador de tiempo, Octavio Robles. Presentando a la esquina azul, medallista de plata en la Copa del Presidente 2009. Su récord amateur, 100 peleas, 90 ganadas y 10 perdidas. Su récord en este torneo, 100 ganadas, 3 perdidas, de la República Dominicana, Luis Miguel Diaz.
Young man from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Now they introduce the hometown hero.
Nacional, medallista de bronce en los Juegos Centroamericanos del 2010, con 90 peleas, 70 ganadas, 17 perdidas, 3 ganadas y 1 perdida en este torneo. Directamente desde Tlaxcala, México, presentamos a Braulio Avila. Peleadores al centro con el referee.
Your referee is going to be David Lorado for this bantamweight fight.
Alan, let's take a look at the head-to-head here. You got two guys similar height and weight. One thing that stands out to me is Avila is 3-1 in this tournament, and Diaz is still looking for his first victory. Let's see if that can happen tonight.
Absolutely. Diaz is much better than 0-3. They had to bring him in. We were talking earlier before we came on. The amateur style, you learn how to get points and win in amateur ranks, but when you get here no headgear and you're fighting in a 10-point must system, you got to learn how to get in there and engage and turn your punches over, right, BJ?
You do, and he's got a tall task in front of him with Braulio Avila tonight. Very tough guy, but he seems up for the task. Looking forward to a good fight.
We are set for what we call the Bam Bam division, the bantamweights. And don't blink, folks, because they will come out and they'll be throwing for 5 rounds. Here they go, right at it, right off the bat right there. I tell you, Diaz is a southpaw. I've seen him turn around, but he fights mostly southpaw. And he's coming out, and they've learned you can't take off any rounds. Look at the jab working with a right hand, straight right hand from Braulio. And watch the way Braulio works. Now, Diaz is coming out and throwing the big punches, the big wide punches, BJ. Nice right hand over the top already by Avila.
Very nice. Both these guys have very quick hands, and Diaz is actually starting to play some punches. Avila came out pretty aggressive, and now it's a little more even terms now. Good action on the ropes.
Here we go. Avila working off the ropes right there. He probably doesn't want to be there, but I'm telling you, Diaz is 0-3, but this young Puerto Rican, Dominican Republic fighter, styles make fights. Mexicans and Caribbean fighters always make interesting fights, don't they, BJ?
They always have some sort of rivalry, and I think we're seeing evidence of that here in the first round.
Well, they come out, they've thrown a ton of punches already. Almost a clash of heads there. You have to be concerned about that when you have a right-hander and a left-hander, clash of heads.
Now, I look for both boxers to start to settle down a little bit now. They kind of came out and threw a lot of punches and see if they can settle down and really start to implement their game plan and their strategy now. Let's see who takes the reins.
Luis Diaz had a great outing against 2-time Olympian Rashi Warren out of Cincinnati, Ohio. His last outing, he didn't win the fight, but he put some damage on the guy that they consider the equal to Braulio in this division. Braulio comes in, by the way, ranked number 5 in the World Series of Boxing in the bantamweight worldwide.
Good body shot by Avila.
He'll go downstairs, won't he, BJ?
Very good evidence of that right in the first round. He's putting money in the bank, going to the body early. That will definitely pay dividends later in the fight.
Crowd already chanting for Avila. He comes in with his young son, infant son, and his family when he comes down here to fight at the Jose Cuervo Salon. We're glad you're with us in Mexico City tonight.
Good right hook.
Good right hook, exactly.
And what Luis Diaz is doing here, he's kind of waiting for Avila to come in, and then he's just exploding with 3 or 4 punches. And, Avila's got to be ready for that.
Under a minute left in the first round, high-paced action here in the bantamweight division. We have 5 weight divisions to get to this evening.
Avila's starting to walk Diaz down a little bit, starting to implement his game plan. Diaz still very explosive on the counters.
Diaz likes to counter. Like I said, he's a very slick southpaw, but watch Avila, young folks learning about boxing, watch how he's cutting off the ring. He's managed to get ahead of and circle away from his power.
Very clean. Very clean.
I call them professional amateurs, really, because they've been fighting so long with great experience.
Yeah, both guys are definitely not in the beginning stages of their career.
Final seconds of round 1. Here we go, right toward the end.
Very clean. Very clean.
Both fighters landed big punches in that exchange. Good first round.
Just missed right there. A little wide, Diaz was. Okay, that was both throwing a lot of shots here. Let's take a look at some of it here, BJ. Good, nice little uppercut he snuck in there.
He did.
There's that rope work you were talking about.
Diaz had some nice counters in that round. Nice right hook there, very sharp. He needs to look a little more at his punches instead of just letting him go. They'll be a little more selective. He's got 4 more rounds to work with, so let's look for him to pinpoint a little more of those punches this round to see if he can be a little more accurate. Good first round, though. He's kind of running in there. He's got to pick those shots a little better, but I think he'll settle down in the second round.
He's got his eyes closed at times, too.
He does, and that's kind of what I referenced to. He needs to look a little more, literally look, to make sure that those punches are going where he wants them to go.
Round number 2 scheduled for 5. We're just getting started here in Mexico City. Braulio Avila, 3-1 on the season in the white trunks for the Guerreros. Blue and red trunks, the Gallos. Luis Miguel Diaz, his 4th time out this season. He has yet to win, but he's improved steadily.
And one thing that I would like to see Diaz's corner start to tell him is to slide over to the right. He's fighting a southpaw, or he's actually a southpaw. He needs to work away from the guy's power hand. So if he can punch and start to slide over to his right, away from Avila's right, or a strong right hand, then that might help him in the second round land some more punches.
He almost caught one right on the chin coming in right there.
He did.
If he comes straight in, that's going right into Avila's wheelhouse.
Now, Alan, you see how he's kind of scooting over to his left, kind of right into Avila's wheelhouse right there. So I'd like to see him to slide the other way, keep that lead foot outside of Avila's lead foot, and really line up his left hand.
He's kind of just pawing that little jab out there, trying to measure punches. I know you're a big believer in working behind that jab. Diaz just looked over his corner trying to get some instruction. You see Braulio's, he's moving into his comfort zone now.
He is. He's starting to get comfortable in the fight. He's starting to set the pace in the fight. Good body shot. Good body shot. Diaz is actually starting to just kind of look to counter a little bit, and I would like to see him initiate a little bit. He's only got 5 rounds, so he needs to get to work a little more.
Another body shot right inside on that 3-punch combination by Avila right there. We're in round 2, scheduled for 5.
Good counter hook. He just missed it, but if he can start to get that timing down to that counter hook, that might be able to change his fight around.
Well, he likes to counter. You've mentioned that several times.
Very quick-handed is Diaz, very quick-handed.
He's got a lot of potential. He's looking over to his corner a little bit and trying to hit off the break right there. But Avila, you see how comfortable Braulio Avila is right now. Just stalking him down, putting the pressure on. Diaz wisely gets off those ropes.
Very calm and landed a good body shot against the ropes right there. Money in the bank. Those punches will pay dividends later on.
Tough room to come into for the Dominican Republic fighter. He's trying to do something weird with that left hand right there.
Yeah, he's just trying to offset Avila a little bit. He's trying to throw some different angles at him, moving at him, see if he can confuse him and look for any openings. And so far, Avila stayed very calm.
30 seconds left of round number 2, scheduled for 5. Let's see if they turn it on a little bit here in the final seconds. They
good left hand.
Ooh, that left hand got in there, didn't it?
It sure did. He landed a good left hand there. Now I'd like to see him put that right hook behind that left hand and really make an impact, really take advantage when he lands one of those hard punches. Good right hook. Nice shot. Good left hand again. Diaz really picked it up in the end of this round.
He did some good work here at the end. He's so unorthodox sometimes it's hard to tell what he's doing, really, but he has landed some nice punches.
Landed 4 or 5 good clean shots at the end of the round there.
Here's some of the action there. You see him, he's wide open for one thing though, BJ.
Yeah, he is. He's still not quite comfortable. He hasn't found his range. He's just trying to counterpunch until he finds that range. So I think maybe in this round, if conditioning doesn't come into play here, we'll start to see Diaz start to impose a little more will here. He's gotten a little more comfortable. We saw evidence of that in the last round. He landed some big shots. Good left hook by Avila.
As Francisco Bonilla, the coach of the Guerreros, working over the corner. Very well-known amateur coach here in Mexico. Never gets rattled, Francisco. He's just the same person all the time. He's seen it all a million times.
And I'm sure he's telling Avila right now to dig those body shots in there to help slow down his opponent. Diaz is very quick-footed, very quick-handed, and those body shots will help take that away from him.
That's exactly what he did.
Wow,
they came out throwing, digging the body shots, picking up the action. Braulio taking it to him.
Yeah, and I scored that last round for Diaz.
Yes.
I got it 1 round apiece now. He landed some good, clean, hard shots in the end, and I just edged out the round.
And I think they were asking for some more aggression from Avila, and they certainly have got it right here.
He came out swinging. He's still got 3 rounds, though. No reason to rush it. He just needs to work behind his game plan, work behind the good body shot by Diaz.
Lead right hand from Avila. High-paced action here in the bantamweight division.
See, Diaz actually slid off to his right there and slid out of range of Avila right after the punch, and it made it unable for Avila to counter effectively.
I've seen Diaz develop it's his 4th fight. Working with Coach Burns over there in Miami has really turned him into a different fighter. Had a lot of raw talent, but you've got to refine that talent. And you notice he keeps looking over in the corner. Angel Nazario, the assistant coach, is working with his Spanish-speaking fighters. Little right hand just snuck in there by Avila, too.
He did. He got a good one in there. This is really turning into a good fight. They're right in the middle of the ring, banging it out.
Double right hand from Avila right there. Diaz looking a little bit winded.
Good body shot.
Remember, we're at 7,300 feet above sea level here.
Good
It's
right
always
hand by
advantage.
Avila. Good right hand by Avila.
He's really come out this third round and working him, beating him down now.
Starting to impose his will very strongly.
Diaz is a little bit hurt because he's trying to stay out of the way, and here comes Avila. Diaz is looking to his corner. I don't know what for. He's not going to get any help out of there.
Looking for some type of instruction, but what he needs to do, he needs to circle to his right, look to continue to counter a punch or two, regain his wind, and then come back and finish the round strong.
Tough little fighter, but Avila's got right in his face. Talking about fighting the pure Mexican style, this is what you get. C-spot, hit spot. That's what he does.
Nice right hook by Diaz. Just missing. He's got to find the timing on that right hook if he wants to stay competitive in this fight. You can't let Avila start to pull away like he has a little bit in this third round.
Every time he wades in, Avila's able to hold him off.
Good overhand right.
Oh,
Right
good
hand,
left
that
hand. Oh, man, that hook hurt. Diaz took it, though. He walked right through it. Now Avila's sharpshooting now.
Actually, one of the first moments in the fight where we've seen Avila take a couple steps backwards. So Diaz maybe is, coming into his own here, making him a little uncomfortable, making Avila slightly uncomfortable, and starting to back up. There he comes back with 3 shots.
Yeah, 3 shots right there.
I spoke too soon.
Yeah, he's sharpshooting now. That's what I've seen from this Avila. Very comfortable, good third round for him.
Good round for Avila. Now you see Diaz going to the orthodox stance there. I think good left hook. Good check looking for left hook. Very pretty.
They come fast and furious, these punches.
He actually switched into that orthodox stance, landed a big left hook right before the bell, but it wasn't enough to win that round, Alan.
I love this super slow-mo.
Nothing really landing too clean in there.
Yeah, they're just head-to-head is the point there.
A little bit of a head clash there. Diaz has actually got pretty good position in those clinches. I would like to see him rip a combination and slide off to his right. Basic boxing 101. Let the punches go and then slide out of harm's way.
Round number 4 coming up. I think you have it 2-1 Avila.
I do. I gave Avila that last round based on his aggression, his relentless attack, and landed numerous big punches throughout the round.
Avila really came out in round 3.
Good body shot.
Very fast.
Another good right hand to the body.
I think Diaz hurt that. Felt that and hurt from that body shot. Body shots really hurt.
And over the last 2 rounds, we've started to see Avila invest a little bit in those body shots. His corner gave him good sound instruction, and he's actually followed through and done what they've asked. Once again, it looks like Diaz is just looking to counterpunch right here. He needs to initiate. He's down 2-1. He needs to win these last 2 rounds and make it a good combination.
He came in and paid the price right there. Now he's staying out of harm's way. And they don't like that down here in Mexico. Just because it's a matter of survival.
See that? Then he slid off to the right. Very effective punching move.
He's got a lot of talent, and it's going to be tough to get a decision here, but he's not out of this thing. If he can take this round forward, we'll go to the 5th round and see.
He's got to be decisive here. Got to land some clean punches.
He's a little wide with his punches, isn't he, BJ?
He is, but he's just still a little bit on his back foot, a little too much. He's still not exactly good punch.
That was a nice one.
He's not exactly sure what he should be doing. He's tried to counter punch. He's tried to stand in the middle. He saw standing in the middle, didn't necessarily work, but he's boxing well this round. He really is.
He's using what he's got, which is speed.
He's loosened up a little bit. He's creating more angles to create more punching opportunities.
Well, Braulio's learning a lot too when he takes on these Caribbean fighters. You can't really invent this style when you're working in the gym against his other bantamweights from Mexico.
Yeah, it's tough for him to find sparring for a guy like Diaz, huh?
Yep.
Good punch by Avila.
Diaz got a good chin. He's taking a lot of shots in there. That's what I love about these lower weight divisions. They take a licking and keep on ticking.
Diaz is actually doing some all right. He's giving pretty as even as he's getting right now. He's not really taking anything clean. He needs to slide off to the right. Avila's a little stronger inside and imposing his will. So Diaz needs to look for an opportunity to score and close this round out strong to be concise with the judges.
30 seconds coming up. Round number 4, first round of the evening. First fight of the evening.
And this has been a close round, Alan, so I think Diaz really needs to suck it up here and land some hard punches to separate himself from Avila in this round.
A lot of times the judges will give a close round to the person who's pressing the action. Final seconds coming up here, round number 4. Nice exchange right there.
It was. Very even round this round. Diaz boxed better, but Avila still had a lot of strong moments.
Angel Nazario working that corner over there. Well, the first ring card guy I've ever seen, and the women were going nuts, and the guys were booing him. That's perfect. There's Angel Nazario working in the corner. I mean, I hate to ask you, how'd you do that? That was an even round, huh?
You know what? I actually kept it pretty close. I think Diaz came out and landed the more effective, cleaner punches in the beginning of the round. However, Avila's aggression, Avila's consistency in his punching made that a very close round. I actually gave it as an even 10-10 round.
Round number 5 in the bantamweight division. Will Luis Miguel Diaz get his first victory in his 4th attempt? Or Braulio Avila go to 4-1 on the year?
In my scorecard,
he's not fighting like he thinks he's got it won.
In my scorecard, Alan, Diaz needs to have a very strong round, maybe a possible knockdown to make this a secure decision. If he just boxes and continues to move backwards, I don't see him getting a decision here in Mexico City against this kid.
Well, he must be in good shape because he's up here 1.5 miles in the air from sea level in Miami where he trains, and he's had good movement throughout. It's just a matter of whether or not he's landed the more effective punches.
Exactly. You see Avila continuing to go into body. Diaz is moving backwards. He's got to make it a little more clear cut to the judges that a good body shot.
Ooh, that's
a good body shot. Another 2 good body shots.
He's got Diaz hurt. That hurt. It hurt me over here.
Another good body shot right there, and Diaz is forced to go to the bicycle. He's got to move around.
Wow, those were nice body shots. That's how you take the movement out of a guy, right?
He did. Diaz is still moving, but he is starting to slow down. The legs are starting to slow down a little bit. He actually looks a little more arm weary than he has in the previous rounds. So those body shots always pay dividends.
5th and final round in the bantamweight division. Braulio Avila coming in ranked number 5.
Good body shots.
WSB. Diaz, good work right there.
Good work by Diaz. Good left hand.
If he those shots come so wide, but he's a tough kid. Now, Avila trying to work on him in the ropes, and he escapes once again. Diaz moving away.
They do come wide, but good right hand.
Good right hand right there. Oh, another one.
What's been saving Diaz is his hand speed and his foot speed. However, he started to lose just a little bit of that, so Avila's starting to make it a more competitive fight. He's been able to fight easier.
Avila will put the pressure on you. That is for sure.
Good right hand. Good right hand.
Avila, good round. Avila. They started this way and they continue this way in the 5th round. Relentless pressure, good counters from Diaz.
Good right hook by Diaz. Good right hook. And Avila just walked right through it, Alan.
Just walked right through it.
I don't think they're taking too much effect on him right now.
Now we got a little pushing and shoving going on as I think Diaz wants to catch his breath if he can.
Good body shot. Good idea.
I'd like to see Diaz, what he could really do if he just let his hands go. Because he's taken some good shots too.
Yeah, he did. He's unloaded his hands a couple times. He's done well. However, he just hasn't quite found the range for that right hook, and it's really cost him.
15 seconds left in the fight.
Avila continues to.
The mouth wide open now. Diaz really trying to catch some air here at this altitude.
Strong round for Avila again. I think he's got this fight locked up.
He's got those big shoulders too. He works behind those shoulders very effectively.
Good fight.
Excellent fight. So we'll wait the decision, but I think it's going to go for Avila, especially down here in Mexico. Take a look at some of the highlights from that. The body shots were a big difference.
He did. He landed 3 or 4 good body shots. Nice left hook to the chin right there. He landed 3 or 4 good body shots early in the round, really set the tempo for the round, and really Allen controlled the whole round, I feel. Diaz had some moments, but Avila was always in control.
Yeah, Avila could take a punch too. Diaz is getting better and better. But we'll see how this one was scored. I see Victor Pernico stepping into the ring. Very competitive fight.
It was a good fight, but I just don't feel like Diaz did enough to get his first win in this tournament. And I think he had a very tall task in front of him with Avila tonight.
We are awaiting the decision. We'll get it to you as soon as they throw it up to Victor. They're sitting now. Here we go.
Damas y caballeros, el juez Roberto Servide vio la pelea 50-45 a favor de la esquina roja. Kennedy Jones y Gerardo Pocci vieron la pelea idénticamente 49-46 a favor del vencedor por puntos, Braulio Avila.
Okay, there you have it. If I get my Spanish correct, it was 50-45, 49-46, 49-46.
La participación
So Avila,
de
another
Luis
impressive victory.
Miguel Diaz.
He did well. He went out and he looked for a guy who had great movement, Luis Diaz. He put the pressure on him, and he made him fight, and ultimately in the end, he imposed his will.
So we got 5 fights this evening, and that's going to put Mexico City ahead 1-0 against the Miami Gallos. A game effort tonight from this young man, but wasn't enough. His team is down 1-0. Look at the bantamweight trying to knock somebody out.
Esto el equipo mexicano inicia con una ganada en esta noche y ahora presentamos para festejar esta victoria de Braulio Avila a las guapísimas y talentosas bailarinas de los Mexico City Guerreros. Recíbanlas con un fuerte aplauso.
Yeah. So they're going to go to the interview. You're going to see. He was good, I thought. I think he's very good.
¿Cómo se sintió usted en esta pelea?
Me siento muy bien, por el trabajo, agradecer el esfuerzo también que hacen los entrenadores y agradecer a toda la gente que nos viene a apoyar.
Okay, so the question I asked him how he felt in this fight. Okay, said he fought very good fight. He felt very good. Okay, my next question is, did you feel the body attack? Did you feel that body attack played an important part in this fight?
Yeah, I feel like I was trying to get it down for he could lose some air, and well, I do it like in the third round, and the fourth, I got tired.
Landed some excellent body shots. This young man moves to 4-1 in the tournament. Very good job tonight. Back to you.